Up this, a 2 pound note and I kill that piece. A 2 pound note and I kill that piece. This is all the money that me work for. Money, neighbor, money, money, neighbor, money, money. I know what you can I make money. Oh, Joseph.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people call it Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Comes TV, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruption over land and sea, where the wicked politicians they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. Is one set of people getting aisle money. Is one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see. Sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, which has ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. They got Breakford, Bork and Mark Benchcop. David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam. Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London. Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up Paslow Port People Governor. Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson. Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Wyndham Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Clock Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Clock Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
Greetings, family. I'm excited to invite you to 3 nights of spiritual revival. That's correct. It's happening Friday, April 26th, all the way to Sunday, April 28th. And it's happening on the East Coast. We're going to be at the Bacchus Square in Vigilance North Housing Scheme on the East Coast for 3 nights of Kingdom Exposition 2024, being hosted by the Kingdom Life Ministries. I'm excited about what the Lord is going to do. I want to challenge you to come out. I'll be there by God's grace to share the heart of the Lord with you, along with Minister Simeon Williams and Apostle Wellington Mitchell, all the way from Linden. It's going to be 3 powerful nights of ministry. You can't afford to miss it. We believe in God for an invasion of the Holy Spirit and for revival to break out into your life. We know that God has created you for a purpose. We know that you must secure your salvation at all costs. And we know that there's something that you must fulfill in the land of the living for the Lord. Can't wait to see you as a part of the Kingdom Exposition 2024. God bless you until we connect.
You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T&W Harris Butcher Shop, located in the East Ramveld Market Meat Section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T&W Harris Butcher Shop, for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more.
Comes out your son. You burn this swine when I want you shine. The tree of life, them I want you climb, cause them art not kind. Comes, I say them art not kind. Buxton Massive, Kidaki, Red Hat.
Over 6225923 is the number to call. While I wait for your call, let me address some people. I got one of them. Every morning you get a new tune because the old ones are not effective or impacting as much. So every time you come here, you get a new one. I'm looking for a particular one. He started out cussing, right? Talking about the things he likes. But I'm not going to deal with the things he likes. Rahman Mohammed. Boy, y'all go get a job and stop worrying about oil money and the best government for Guyanese people. Y'all ain't going to get, y'all going to get bugger for oil money with Glenn Lab. Now that's the level. Call all the line. That's the level of intellect these so-called representatives of the PPP come here with in the morning. Right? Go get a job and stop worrying about oil money and the best government for Guyanese. Rahman Mohammed, or Rahman Mohammed, whatever your name is. Or you're supposed to mute your microphone. It's an age-old stereotype that says that African Guyanese in particular don't like to work. But history has shown the work they have done to build the foundations of this country and to, quite frankly, maintain the existence of this country. So to say, y'all going to look for work and don't wait for oil money and so on, is utter foolishness. By now, people understand that utter foolishness. African Guyanese make up the majority of the public servants, public service. In every service industry in this country, African Guyanese dominate, their presence dominate. I think the same clown further on asks the question if African Guyanese pay taxes or if you always pay taxes. Or I think he did say y'all don't pay taxes. Taxes are deducted at source in the public service. And since African Guyanese dominate the public service in their presence, their taxes are deducted even before they see their paychecks. Compare that to the private sector, where no Guyanese dominate. They decide if they want to pay tax and how much they will pay. They decide if they want to pay tax and how much they will pay. Why do you think this country currently doesn't have what I want to call a modern financial system where people can just swipe a card and pay. Or payments are made electronically. Guyana remains a cash-based economy because the business sector is dominated by Indo-Guyanese. The government for the last 30 years perhaps is dominated by Indo-Guyanese. And they are tax evaders to the greater part. They don't like to pay their fair share. And so if you go to an electronic payment system, the evidence will be there, the paper trail will be there to compute their taxes in a fair manner. And so just like the businessman, the government decides, we are not going to do that because it will expose us. It will expose us, we're not going to do it. We will determine how much we want to pay to the system. Why do you think places like the United States of America can quickly recognize a tax evader and bring them in, hold them accountable? Because they have modernized payment system. They have electronic payment system. The system is so set that even if you pay excessively with cash, they will pick you up. They will recognize that you pay excessively with cash and they will bring you in for questioning. But in this society, we remain cash-based because what? The people who dominate government and the people who dominate business are like one and the same. They protect each other. So the people who contribute disproportionately, I dare say, to the tax system in this country are Afro-Guyanese. And I have no apologies to that. And y'all could try to contradict it. Call all the line, bear with me. The issue of city hall and taxes and maintenance of, I would say, city infrastructure comes up ever so often. And the question is asked, who collects the taxes and what city hall does with the taxes when they collect it? Well, I'm compiling a list. I'm doing research. And y'all will find out who owes a city hall hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and why city hall cannot effectively do what it is expected to do because it is being robbed of revenue. We're going to talk about that as the program continues. Call your life.
Good morning, Kadaki, and good morning to all. I want to talk about the PNC. PNC.
Carter.
What happened?
Carter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want to hear anything about the PNC this morning. Let me talk about something else. Sorry, I'm being undemocratic this morning, but y'all don't rub me the wrong way. Let's talk something else.
Okay. All right. Well, I haven't anything else prepared but to say that,
Thank you for your call, and thank you for being as rude as I am this morning.
It's all right. No problem. Go ahead.
Somebody has to put a stop to it. Otherwise, it's not going to finish. And it is not helping anything. Every day is a PNC. Every day is a PNC. Every day is a PNC. What happened? There will be life before, during, and after the PNC. Win, lose, or draw. Call your life.
Good morning, my blessed and wonderful brother.
Good morning to you.
And may this day be blessed. May this day be a day of nourishing. May this day be a blessed of love, care, and understanding to each other. Mr. Kadaki, I listen to your program as long as I'm at home every morning. I know how you feel. I have to call us until they want to hear them at PNC. I need you around what you're saying. As I studied before, we are our own enemies. Now, I am saying this to you, and I went to tell them something last night in Canada. Any system, listen to me carefully, any system that divides the people mindset, the spiritual realms, automatically all of them is being chaos. Because at the end of the day, I won't care about you and you won't care about me. If I onion an extra dollar, it means concern we ain't getting or nothing. And that is a disastrous part about this blessed and wonderful country where we call capital GUYANE. The day we human beings should understand that Guyana is the most blessed country in the world and that we live as Guyanese. As I say all the time, listen to what I'm using, Guyanese. Because if an Indian born here, an American born here, an African born here, he go to America and commit a crime, when he finish serving his time, he'll come right back to where he's born or her born. People don't understand these things, you know? And I'm saying to you, Guyanese, stop being divided. It ain't doing no good, it's doing more harm than good. Come on, how could you, as a conscious human being, telling a man on a program that bug and all these kind of things? It is so disastrous. Let me see life in a real fun because you get another extra money. You don't care about another man, or because you party in power, you care about another party. You gotta understand that we human beings in eyes of God, we are blessed. Look at the trees. This morning, rain falling, Mr. Kadaki. Yesterday was hot sun. But today, if man could control them kind of things, I know what are happening in this world. Why is it that we can't see life in a real form, sir? Why you make us understand that this road we're going is a wrong road? A man someone telling you yesterday in a press conference and listening to the news when I came home last night. But that he can't blame critics, he got to blame the people who give him the job. How did the statesful you could telling me as a head, as a leader of a country, Mr. Kadaki, hear the passionate argument in Jampo? How could you tell in the world that yes, you can't blame the man, you can't blame the bookie, the man, the work. But you know that this man is your right hand man, he's interviewing you, and you can't tell me that this man doing this work. And you know this man never do no work at all like that. But because it's you people, you protect me. But no, at the end of the day, you're back against the wall. You could say anything. And you sit down as Guyanese, as accountable possess intellect, all them get the skulls, diploma, and all that kind of thing, and masters in all different areas and categories. Policemen, soldiers, firemen, lawyers, doctors, magistrates, judges, sat. And they sat upon and hear man insulting your nation. My brother, even the smallest child, you have 4 children playing in a yard, one of them misbehave, and you telling the rest, left it by alone, do we like, automatically what are you doing? It's a scar, it's a course you're creating for the future. Look at them children, my brother, guys in a bad state. The day we can start living and see one another as human, this is what human. I don't talk about man, I was about human because at the end of the day, God created human being. Just that they're different because of man or woman. But God created human being. And God created us for a purpose. Not to destroy one another, it's to love one another, respect one another. And the day we can understand this blessed word, human, love, respect to one another, we can't do wrong nobody. I don't know when, if in my lifetime, it can change, I don't see no changes. Because it's getting worse every second of the day, champ. Look at it, understand it, let me see it. Forget about Indian and black and American and Chinese, and we will live a blessed life. At the end of the day, life have one in ends, a second in ends. But just because as an Indian or as a black or as a PPP or as a PNC or as a this or as a liar or as a documentary, but another man with a garbage collector or the man with taking a drain, you don't know respect for he. At the end of the day, he serve a purpose, you know. A mechanic serve a purpose, a welder serve a purpose, a mason serve a purpose, a carpenter serve a purpose, a man who don't got to work, a plumber serve a purpose, a lawyer serve a purpose. We must respect one another as human. And the day we can understand the real form of it, body, we can't go no way. Mr. Kadaki, if a man deserves $1, give him $1. If you could afford to get the extra dollar without giving you money, give it to him because you know he or she deserves it. But because we divided, my brother, in the spiritual realms of the Almighty, we can do the like and continue doing the like. Never mind who the authority could be acting, could be PPP, could be whatever party the creator manifest. It's the same thing that my last we think as human. Government Kadaki, I know that that's peak enough for this morning. Congratulations to your program. I know it's tough because there's some causes calling and talking some real bilge. And you got to be very careful. Don't let it hurt your head. Don't let the neck your pressure go up or your sugar go up or nothing. Stay focused on stay blessed. At the college just know your manners. You might be wrong to some people. But maybe you just like how he could tell you about the PNC. Look around yourself in your own home. I disrespect nobody. It starts from your home. It starts from you. Because if you have differences in your home, your children, your family, your cousins, everybody. Most of when you put them into society, it's a scorn, sir. Mr. Kodaki, have a blessed day. Continue doing your good work, and I know it's tough.
Thank you, God.
Brother. Yeah.
I was built for tough times. Tough times don't really bother me. Let me say this here. Let me go back to this tax issue. And people talking about y'all can't run the city. And y'all want, and it's up to running the city, and they can't do it properly. And so anything that you do requires resources and cooperation. And government has 3 levels. There are different levels of government. We have central government, we have regional government, we have local government in this country. Good. If central government is at war with local government, as in the city government in this instance, and is squeezing the living daylight out of them, how will they function and function properly? Huh? If the minister of local government is responsible for green lighting the employment of the town clerk, and they will only allow the employment of a town clerk who will fetch their basket, who will do what they want. And what they want is to undermine the city government. How is the city government going to be efficient and effective at what it has to do? I mentioned yesterday the fact that in order for the city government to earn adequately through taxes, to deliver the services which are required of them, there must be re-evaluation of property values in the city. But the PPP is adamant they're not going to allow it. So you have extremely low taxes, and even those extremely low taxes are not being paid. I'm not going to use 2024 figures because I don't have access to them right now. But I am sure I will get a list and I will give you the names of big business people who owe City Hall billions of dollars. But I'm going to, I just Googled it, city businessmen owe City Hall in Guyana. And I'm reading from articles in 2023. The headline was, this is Kaicho, government owes City Hall more than $1 billion in rates and taxes. And that is central government. Central government that is controlling hundreds of billions of US dollars as part of the nation's coffers owes the city government more than $1 billion. Let me continue. iNews Guyana in December 2019 said, City Hall songs warning to businesses defaulting on tax payment. Over $8 billion in rates and taxes owed. Prime News, 3 years ago, that would be 2021, thereabout. City businesses owe City Hall millions in taxes. City Hall contemplating publishing names of defaulting business people, unpaid taxes, over $8 billion. Big city businesses owe City Hall more than $4 billion. And this is in 2018. Businesses owe City Hall $16.2 billion. Guyana Chamber of Commerce and Industry urges them to pay. And this is 2016. Right? Y'all want me to continue? In 2023, the PPP government owes City Hall more than $1 billion. Guyana Times, the Mayor and City Council of Georgetown Wednesday disclosed that businesses in Georgetown owe City Hall over $8 billion. Over 140 businesses owe MNCC, that's Mayor and City Council. Same city government we're talking about. And I can continue with this list. Giftland, Village Voices reporting in 2020. Giftland report in 2020, Village Voice reported Giftland owes over $140 million in taxes to City Hall. This is not me writing these things. This is not me writing these things. With $13 billion in rates and taxes outstanding, this is last year. Outgoing Mayor of Georgetown, Pandit Hubert Narayan, said today that the incoming council for City Hall will have a Herculean task ahead. But these semi-literates, as I like to refer to them as, come on this program and tell you that the failings of the city government sit squarely at the feet of who runs the city. The PPP has been doing that, and they've been encouraging their big business affiliates to do that because they want city government to fail because they don't control it. They have a scorched the earth policy. I remember it was a local government minister under the city, under the PPP, that said he wishes that a pandemic would break out in the city where they used to leave the garbage uncollected for months because they were starving city government again of resources. These are not things I am making up. These are realities. And so when these unscrupulous people in the name of the PPP come on this program to talk crap, it is really aggravating. Call it life.
Yeah, bless good morning to you, Mr. Kadaki. God bless you for the rest of the Guyanese nation. And once again, I'm saying to this entire nation, who God bless, no man could curse. Regardless of what they think, how they feel, or what they try to do. They can't curse who God bless. The curse goes on their own self. And that's why I keep telling you, Mr. Kadaki, your program is blessed. Your program deals with issues and not personalities. And so that's what your program is based upon. That's why I always say God bless your program. However, once again, I would like to remind us all, there's only two kingdoms, kingdom of light, kingdom of darkness. We all, as long as we are in the land we live in, we are headed to a kingdom, we are working for a kingdom, or we are building a kingdom with knowledge or without knowledge. And that's why you gotta be careful. With thorns and thistles. If you are weak, you're gonna be weak. You're gonna remain weak. Despite how much thorns and thistles around you, you will remain weak, and your producer will be weak. That's what I'm saying all the time. So don't mind them say, she said, who they said all this. Nobody don't have to run in defense of themselves, she said. And so what you're saying, and what I'm saying to the nation in general, a wrong or a right can be the truth. A lie can be the truth. A wrong can be, or a right can be the truth. In other words, a right could never ever be wrong. So when you stand in what is right, stand up in righteousness, you can never ever be wrong. And that's where you stand to speak truth to powers. That's where God stands and defend and protect the righteous. All the other rest is sinking sand. So when you stand in the right, Mr. Kadaki, you are in the righteous part. The most important thing, do not support what is evil or what is negative. And I know you that one is true. And guys, you should understand indeed what's going on. There's no way in history can the council able to manage Georgetown without central government doing what it's supposed to do, and that is contribute one to the central to the council. Two is to pay the due that is there to the council. Three is allow the council to establish itself that it can bring an income to maintain itself. All these things have to take on board. And the PPP government is not allowing that, and they will not allow that because they want to have full control over Region 4. And so they're suffocating the council
in every way. They're boycotting, undermining. If you can remember even in the past, when the council called upon the Lato team before Lato was the council come up with that idea. It was taught some thing. Even the big business people, plenty of them is guilty of not paying their rates and tax. Plenty of them owe billions of dollars. The government don't want to allow central government the freedom to deal with the situation. They are holding them, they are handicapping them. The government know what it is doing. And in this life, you either billing or you break it. You either gathering or you scattering. You either for or against. That's how the kingdoms come. And that's what I'm saying. So this government is not going to allow the mayor, no matter who become mayor, allow not a PPP mayor, you're not going to allow them the access to make a region 4 blossom in NP. So Guyanese stop fooling yourself. That's why you see even Mr. Jack Doe, he got us a fire and he promised them to do all the road. They will go out to the less fortunate areas and do road and problem. Why will accept this fire and less fortunate area? Can y'all eat the road and the brick? Welcome the streets to do this, supposed to do it. Just how they know they're going to do it for getting election and getting vote. They should know how to do it. Allow it, welcome it. But when you go for vote against this government. Don't allow them little different use and a little road contract from Tony Almighty. They are willfully stifling the council. They are willfully stifling the mayor. They are willfully doing that to this nation. There's no way in history that you're going to be successful. When the government know what it is doing, it is pinning down certain part of this nation. It is pinning down certain race of this nation. And I'm talking about this. I am no politician, but the PNC could never become no racial. PNC is not a racial party. They can't afford that in any way. That's why sometimes people can't Granger and address it as a civil or as an Indian. They can never have one. I'm saying this is to stop allowing yourself to be brainwashed. When I'm speaking, I address my Indian brothers, as Indian brother and sister. I address all the race with respect and with dignity because we all deserve that. We all are human beings and respect you enough. So when I speak to the righteous-minded and hearted people, all who are righteous-minded regardless of race, religion, and creed. And that's why I'm saying, that's why I come in this program, because this program is a blessing and it deals with issue. God bless you, Mr. Kadaki. Just as Mr. Island did WPA, God bless you. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day.
Thank you for your call. It's 8 hours 30. The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. I think I have a voice note.
My name is Amsterdam. Sometimes I want to know this program is lashing out at each other and abusing each other. And this one say, and it alleged, this one say. People got bigger issues to fight in this country. Bigger issues, people got bigger problem. Is this one say, and don't want pay, and don't want pay. People got bigger problem. I got a road with a bill in front of me, and the car can't come in. Everybody can't run the road. The car can't park in the yard because the road high, and you house there down at the bottom. Them will build nothing that you could use. Now I gotta go and find truck for bring stuff. Because that's what everybody doing right now. Throw stuff in front of the yard for build up to the road. Them is problem I got. And this big man, sometimes he's give me a last or something. People talking, a lot of words go along it way. You can't stop people from talking. Everybody they want Granger. When Granger go in, they tear it down. People gotta get criticism. Leaders, people gotta criticize leaders when they're doing the right thing.
Thank you for that voice note. Here's another.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and viewers. A lot more things are scarce. You're not getting matches. you're not getting flour. And the problem, when you go to the shop, they say the problem is at the mill. A pack of self-raising flour, you're paying up to $5.20. Most of the shops don't have. When you go to the Chinese, you have to pay $4.80 for a pack of self-raising. And you have to pay $3.40 and above. The cheapest certain place you might get a pack of Thunderbolt is $300. They ration you the sugar. You're not getting the amount you want. You have the money for it, but you're not getting it. And this government is so good and doing so good. It's getting hard by the day, or you have to say by the hour. Now you gotta prepare snack and thing for your children to go to school. Sometimes you're gonna bake 2 buns, you're gonna bake bread for, like, you know what, for dinner or what is for breakfast in the morning. You can hardly do it. Because you only got to get flour, you got to get all the other ingredients. But the government will say they care. Don't care. You're not getting money. People not getting razor pay. They're moving the people them off the street where they got to say the business people. Because there's how they're making it look like if it's a business people. What all these people going to do will get loans to pay, rent to pay, children to send to school, and all these things. What these parents must do now. You understand? They're saying that in your jobs for everybody. You got to make yourself, you still find something to do. So what you going to do? If you're mining 2 chicken and 2 things in your yard, they're saying you got to go and pay tax for them. Sometimes currently where you're living, you can't do it because neighbors going to cry out, say it's affecting them. So tell me, what people must do? Did you see the video where the man that stripped out his clothes naked as he barn? People gonna run mad. People, me, I know how I'm thanking God that my children are grown. It's only a granddaughter have fighting up with. And I just find it hard because you still have all the bills to pay. You still gotta eat. You still gotta drink. You still gotta wear. Where you getting this money from? I ain't saying it's dying alone getting hard. All over getting hard. But dying getting harder with all the money that is coming into this country. And I go back to the song of Bob Marley saying, the rich gonna get rich and the poor gonna get poorer until the system change. We not gonna get better. Me and know where we gonna turn. Some of us better off dead because you're alive and it's just like if you're dead because nothing is going on.
Thank you for that call. That voice note. There's a comment I want to respond to Christine. If you so proudly identify African Guyanese, dominate the public service and other government sources of employment, then how do you sustain contentions of African marginalization? You're going to talk about it just now. Let me take this call. Call your life. Caller, please turn off or down whatever you have in your background. Whatever you're listening to in your background, please turn it off.
Okay. Morning.
Good morning.
Our African people in this country is in a bad shape. Unless we fix our spirituality right, we wouldn't get it right. I was amazed to see intellectuals and those people who seems to be bright in this country or intelligent still worshipping a white God. A black ancestor spirit and a worship a white God. Every other nation gets their own God. The Chinese get their own God. The Indians get their black people is the only people who have their own God. They worship a white God. So if you don't get it right, how are you going to get inspiration? Look at the churches. The pastors get so many people behind them. Thousands of people behind them. and the government or authorities brutalizing people, none of them can come out and say anything. They're saying nothing. And they're robbing the poor people. They got to pay taxes, and they're doing nothing with the money for all black people. They're making an industry, they're making nothing. And the black race is going down all the time. Unless we get it right. Look, a white man come from a tennis against the country, and he will be the one. He was born and get out of this country. I don't know what's going on with our people. Our people money. We earn a lot of money in this country, black people. And where the money going? In the churches and in the sporting. Too much of sporting. That's all, Mr. Kataki.
Thank you for the call. Yeah, let me address this lack of knowledge here. I guess it's a request for knowledge, a request for explanation. If black people dominated public service and other forms of government employment, how do I justify the claim of marginalization? Call your life. Call your life.
Good morning, all listeners. You can hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Yeah, where do I start? Let's start with the tax situation first of all. And I'm coming from a background whereby I've worked in the UK for many years within local council, in a local council whereby you rely on that money from central government. Every local authority within the UK relies on a budget at the start of the financial year, which they can then use, whether they're using it for refuse collection, whether they're using it to improve roads, whether they're using it to, put up signs for roads, and so forth. And within those local authorities, you have several different departments within them. So, for example, you'll have housing, you'll have social services, you'll have environmental services. Now, in order for each one of those to work and to work good, they're backed up with legislation which can be enforced. So, for example, if you have an environmental issue whereby you have a company whereby is disposing of their hazardous rubbish in a wrongful way, they can be fined. And if they don't pay their fine, their business can be shut down. Now, we know we have a big problem in Guyana with enforcing things. We have a big problem with enforcing things, full stop, starting from the DPP. So certain things need to be brought into line and brought into check. Right, I'm going to move on to the next subject. The food situation. I'm a person who lives outside of Guyana and visits Guyana frequently. And over the last 5 years, I've seen the prices go up dramatically. How are Guyanese coping? I do not know. Because even if you're a foreigner coming over here to actually purchase stuff in the shops, it's hard. The prices are a lot higher than what you would be paying in New York, for example, or even in London, or in the rest of Europe. I can tell you that 101%. There is no reason why Guyana should be in this state of affairs whereby the people should not be getting the food cheap. Why isn't grants being given to farmers so they can farm? It's the same situation every year. Why is the money not going through? People, please listen and stand up, because right now Guyana is in a drastic situation and people need to come together. Stop looking at race. Yeah? All of us are one. Close your eyes and see that. Yeah? The divide and rule system that was brought in by the British is taken over this country, and people need to stand up and realize what is happening. Kadaki, I haven't got more time to speak. I'll speak to you another time, but that's what my input is for today. Have a good day.
Thank you for your input. We have a voice note. We have several voice notes. Let's play one.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and listeners. I'm just calling to remind us as comrades, we must whosoever come out as the winner, let us throw our weight behind him, whether it's art, not nor whosoever. Because we have a bigger thing in front of us. We have this PPP government that is like a Goliath, and we need to take him down. So we need to put our energy towards getting down that energy, towards getting down that giant. However, people have a right to throw the weight behind who they want to throw. Who want to support Naughty, that's the democratic right. Who want to support Ford, that is the democratic right. Who want to support Amanza, that is the democratic right. I don't think we should fight down anybody and say, oh, she ain't ready yet, he ain't ready yet, and this one ain't ready yet. The point is, when they go there, they have to perform. That's the whole issue. So we need to support each other and stop fighting down. We can't just have a leader there and nobody and contesting the seat. It's good when we have contests. I always say that because it's gonna make the leaders them pull up the socks. Because when you don't have nobody contesting you, you're gonna do as you like and throw back. So contest is good. And another thing, we need to stop backbiting on each other. Whatever, we should not follow up wrong with the nonsense. It don't make sense following you up with the nonsense because he come there with an aim, and it's like to bring down the PNC, the APNU, and the AFC. But it won't work. So I don't think people should even mention it. We have bigger pictures. We have a problem with the light, the market fall down, and all kind of thing happening. We need to focus on those things and the victimization that is taking place against our people. The teachers have not been paid, even though they said the court have been ruled. Those are the things we need to focus on, not on those nonsensical man that seems like he lost all his mental faculties. Let's focus our energy on the right things.
Thank you for that voice note. Now let me address Chris Dean, and then I'll continue to play voice notes and take calls. Chris Dean says, if you so proudly identify African Guyanese dominate the public service and other government sources of employment, then how do you sustain contentions of African marginalization? Let me explain that for you. And I don't know, I said other sources of government employment, because let me tell you that other sources of government employment are contracts. And Indo-Guyanese, non-African Guyanese dominate the award of contracts. And you can go and check that for yourself. Right? The award of contracts, if you look at the award of contracts, award and receipt of contracts, it's dominated by Indo-Guyanese and non-African Guyanese. And that is where the big money is. That is where the real money is in this oil economy. Or that is one of the sources of real money in this oil economy. So African Guyanese don't dominate that. Let's keep that in mind. Let's put that myth outside the door. African Guyanese dominate the public service. And that is why it is easy for the government of the day, in this instance, the PPP government, to marginalize African Guyanese. If you got to set a sheep, corralled, I hope you know the meaning of corral. If you got them locked off in a controlled space, then it's easier for you to catch them and slaughter them. Same for cow. Same for chicken, meat board, we just said. Once you got them penned up, it's easy to catch them and slaughter them. And that is what is happening to African Guyanese in this society. They're penned up. Most of them you can find in the public service. So it is easy for the government to marginalize them. How is the government marginalizing them? Look at the issue of increasing wages and salaries. If you work predominantly in the public service, then your income will come predominantly from the public service. And if income remains low in the public service, it means your income will remain low. And that is what the PPP has been doing to the public servants, majority African Guyanese. And so when we keep them at low incomes, they can barely eke out a living with that income. And so they don't have excesses to save for the creation of capital to invest in businesses. And so they live into paycheck, from paycheck to paycheck, or paycheck within paycheck. And so they're perpetually poor. They're always poor. Generation to generation, they're poor because they don't have access to capital to live themselves out of that poverty. Because the government ensures that it keeps public servants' wages and salaries dog low. And that is how I can sustain the contention of African marginalization, because it's right before your eyes, Christine. Unless you are so blind that you can't see, or you are so unscrupulous that you can't even acknowledge simple facts. You have a government that has granted wages and salaries increases percentage to the public service that is lower than the inflation rate. How then are they expected to live off of that and accumulate capital off of that? Let us contrast that with the same government giving multi-million, hundreds of $million contract to Indo-Guyanese. Even if you were to pay a public servant $200,000 a month, that comes up to 12, 224, $2.4 million a year. Let's say tax-free. One contract, which gets completed in 6 weeks or so, will guarantee, in many instances, the contractor $2.4 million a month. So when the public servant is waiting all year to make $2.4 million, the contractor is making that several times over in the year. And so you're going to see that disparity in the accumulation of wealth. Let me give you the example of Buxton. When we kick up a stink, as I like to say, and they run come to Buxton and they say we give 25 contractors, I think 50 contractors, 20, whatever. We give 25 contractors 25 bridges to do in Buxton. The average cost per bridge, let me put it at $2 million. By the time that contractor is finished building that bridge with that contract price of $2 million, I guarantee you what was left is enough. Well, might have been barely enough to feed his family for the month. But while they were giving contractors bridges in Buxton at $2 million each approximately, one contractor, I think it was in Cove and John area, got a bridge for more than $100 million. That is how I can maintain the contention of marginalization of African Guyanese in this country. And the list can go on. We don't have the luxury of time to continue to make the list. The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. You're tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. I have other voice notes I'd like to play. Let's take this call. Call your life.
Yeah, good morning, Kadaki and everybody. Now, we listen to the thing with the people who went to represent us for this equality and the decade of African thing. And when you listen to a set of the speeches, especially the one that came out from the installed minister, you know it is a lot of lies they're spewing. And these people don't understand that when they go to these international forums and they spew these things, that the people would look at them and realize that they're lying. Because they realize what a $10,000 smartphone could do. And when these forums are held, these people make certain, if we're going to look into this country, we must cut our own dirt. or whatsoever, that we will know when these people come as presenters, what they are presenting. So when you go out there and land, you only look bad. Now with the installed president, he had a talk with a BBC reporter when he said that he was so loved the Africans in Guyana that he was fighting for them to get this money that they owe them. He even mentioned that them as indentured laborers were supposed to be getting money. But what in front didn't stop to so then he mentioned how the Africans is who build the palace with wood from Guyana, green art from Guyana. Now he's such a dunce that if he was right, he would have known when the British came into slavery, it was after the Dutch, the French, the Spanish, then they came in. And when the British royalty, there was royalty, they were already living in Buckingham Palace, and they had all the buildings that was for the Buckingham Palace. So when they came into this, into the Western Hemisphere, fighting off all others and taking over, making it the empire with colonies, they did not have to build palaces. So we didn't have to send up green art as slaves. But the thing that what in front never stop on the other echelons of the PPP party, along with me and Martin, in the textbooks, they are branded as bongo police. And there is where in front and others like them should have asked those people, look, we are being called this word and we feel disgruntled about the word. And if instead of, we don't get paid, because what they start to realize, the money whatsoever the writer pastor pay them, it is in all those history books. They were being paid and they will not be paying them again. We want this thing to be removed so that nobody will be able to call us by this word. But no, the PPP, they ain't looking after them. The Indians, they ain't looking after for the word, but they're just looking to grab at money. Yesterday you mentioned about fences and this thing of fence, but let me tell you something, Gaddafi. I got a neighbor to the west, and if I could have afforded 20 feet high zinc sheet, I would have zinc my whole one side because you know what? I have no farmer privacy. If people come at me and if I could put up a fence like that, I would put it up because you want when you see you build your house, you must be able to live and don't have problem with your neighbors. And neighbors supposed to got friends with me, it wouldn't be a problem because I'm a busy person. I don't have time to sit down to watch out neighbors all day. The last thing, somebody mentioned that they believe that people like this by umbrella by should be given our thing. Now the other day we know umbrella by was the person who spoke in 2015 about who won the election. After that, the disciplined forces, we saw what happened in 2020 when about three quarters of the disciplined ballots were not being given the 6-digit stamp and counted. When that was making, this individual went across to the famous team and is with the team. Now imagine at this juncture, when the same umbrella boy jump up and say, who the team have funded how much $1 million to. Now tell me, if you got somebody like that, can you trust them? Lastly, I listened to Mayor Yuvraj Narai, and he said that people call them charandases. This charandas thing is a big issue. Now, I was at a function a few mornings ago with Amna Ali. And from since I know Amna Ali is a PNC member, She claims she's at the party, she love born, all kind of thing. And that function was a relentless function for the person she claimed that she loved. And when they call her name to go and lay wreath for the body when she loved, as they found the leader, I was sitting opposite her, and this woman.
But wait, Wanda. I didn't just say I don't want you not but PNC.
Oh, shucks, I didn't know that. I had a little blackout anyway. But when you hear people, you gotta watch at what you see. You gotta watch. And I feel the pain for you, Raj, because as an Indian, he will feel dejected. And as political things, we must know what we are saying. And then we too must understand under what area a person may be speaking from. I feel his pain, I see what he thinks, and I understand the other lashing out at the people. So that is my thing for today, and I hope that the people could go to a forum where it must be made known that the word bongo police must be taken out of the textbooks, and it must, another word must be substituted for that. And when that word has been changed, people who doing history will have now to use another word. But if you go to write West Indian history and say, this is what we're looking at this here, you cannot go and put East Indian came from India, because once the lecturer is teaching you West Indies history using the word bongo police and you go and put East Indian, I think you will lose marks for that because it is in the text. Okay, Baba.
Goodbye. It's a minute to the 9 o'clock hour. Allow me to play my voice notes. Please don't call. What did I say? Please don't call. I'm playing voice notes now. When I'm done with my voice notes, I'll decide if I can take more calls. Let me see how many voice notes we have. I'm seeing one.
So that is nice. I was like, find out about you. Let public know what's going on at housing now. Since last year, June, housing collecting people money for the lands of the set of people not good up on the East Coast. My land, $600 and something thousand. They said that on November we're gonna get you. This is April. Right, people gotta pay rent $5,000 a month and all these things. When the government really giving people their land at good hope, when they already getting a land, right? Number two, this country ain't got no price control no more. If you got 5 shops in your area, you got all them shop, sugar price different, all them got sugar different, rice different, flour different. You know, all these things need to come back in this country. We're really going on in this country. No price control. And then when they done the complaining about the Chinese got to do them that all over and help out poor people because the Chinese more reasonable. You understand? If you go over to one of them shop, if you drink a bank's beer and you say you're going to buy a beer, they want 300 and 400 for a beer. The Chinese, you could get 4,000 or 5,000 plus change. You understand what I mean? The Chinese, everything reasonable at the Chinese. And these shop exploiting you and the offer doing it. You understand? Something needs to be done in this country with price control. We need to go a Bangalore State. The authority got to come around and check all them shop price and these things. Got to put price tag on the things. You understand me? That is all I have to say for now. I need my land. That is what I need. Money don't pay. You can't get your land. You got to bill. You got to live. You understand? Why they collecting people money? Tell them. This last year. And they say by November, they issue the land. When you see you go by the site to buy the land, them there, nothing you even do yet. The baby got a small part for the do out, and it done let it out. Nothing more in do if you see bush, and they're collecting people money. I don't know why they're doing these things. Why they're collecting people money, or they're giving the own people that land them. Because I don't know why when they're waiting for card, people forgive people their land, let people get for bail and start paying rent and live a better life. You understand me?
Miranda Brown! Oh, Miranda. Oh, yeah, hello. You send black people to work in the public service. Are black businesses creating jobs to employ their own? Do you understand what is intergenerational wealth? Oh, no, Miranda, I don't understand anything. I don't even understand why you're so stupid. Backward might be another word. Illiterate might fit there. Ignorant is the appropriate word, because ignorance suggests a lack of knowledge. And so let me explain to you, Miranda, why black people fall up in the public service. Let's take this call, man. I'm going to come back to you. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam.
Good morning. Be quick about it.
Hello?
Good morning. Be quick about it.
Yeah, Mr. Amsterdam, I want to add to that voicemail. Mr. Amsterdam, I applied for my land since 2014, all right? All right, Mr. Amsterdam, I'm 53 years old, okay? They allocate me, but 10 years after they find a place to allocate me. I pay them, they allocate me. Till now, I can't get a title. Till now, I can't get a title. I can't get a agreement to see they take my money. I don't know if anyone in the government people would do a business, a transaction with some institution and don't have the merchandise that they pay for. I pay for the land. They allocate me. Now I can't get a piece. I'm 53. Where I gonna go and get a loan? From which bank at 53 years old? Up to 55 is retirement time. I see that they put pressure on a lot of black people, and I don't know what the reason they're holding back the title and the agreement to sale for. I can't understand why they're doing it. It's to keep us back, because when we reach a certain age, when they do give us these documents, we can't get a loan from bank. They just give you a piece of paper to hold in your hand and say like, oh, we own something. We own shit because we can't do nothing with it. Understand? That's my take. All right. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, caller.
Yeah.
The caller well, I guess the caller might have seen what Miranda is asking. Who send black people to work in the public service, and this question about generational wealth? Because the caller's made an interesting point. If they hold on to your title, then you have nothing. Because your title serves as collateral, you can go to a financial institution and utilize their financial services like a mortgage. If they wait until you close to retirement age and then they hand you the title, no bank is going to give you a mortgage at 55. Not that I know about, unless you're a big businessman with multi-million dollars in the bank account to show, well, hey, I got the means. Right? I made a point last week. I was talking about this same housing matter and the time it takes for people to get access to land and title and so on. If you don't get access to land and title, let's say by age 25, you get a difficulty when you approach a bank for a mortgage, because the maximum number of years they can give you to repay a mortgage is 30, as far as I know. And so if you're 50, if you're 25 and you're retiring at 55, then they're going to maximize your 30 years. So when you get to 30 and you're approaching the bank, you have to show the ability to pay that mortgage in about 20 years. Otherwise, you ain't drawing, you ain't got nothing to get. Property ownership contributes to generational wealth. I dream of the day when I can own a property unencumbered and take the title or the deeds to that property and hand it to my son and say, hey, you're young, take it to the bank and get $100 million and get into big business so you don't have to be stuck in the public service for people like those in the PPP to marginalize you. That's my dream. That should be the dream of every African Guyanese, every citizen of this nation, to be able to pass something to the next generation that they can build on. That's generational wealth. But if you have an oppressive system that is designed so that you don't own anything, then you can't pass anything for them to build on. Right, Miranda Brown? So let's go back to send Black people in the public service. And I said you asked the question out of ignorance. I will attempt to educate you because sometimes it's called too thick for you to understand. Do you remember? In the days of colonialism, or immediately coming out of slavery, all of the restrictions that were placed on Black people, African Guyanese, do you remember? You were living in African Guyanese communities, but you couldn't trade in African Guyanese communities. Check in the history of Buxton. I should have gotten, I wish I had a book right here, right now. You see, Quana. Buxton Friendship in Print and Memory. In Buxton, we had businessmen named Vasconcelos, they're Portuguese. We had business people named Chandaban, they're Indians. We had village people, business people they used to call Chip Chip. I can't remember, Mapao, Chinese. Not until the later years, you had business people like the Blairs and the Jarvises. Why? Because in the earlier years, African Guyanese were not allowed to ply trade. They were not allowed to own businesses, hardware and haberdashery and grocery and so on. That was reserved strictly for the Portuguese and the Indo-Guyanese and the Chinese. In other words, there was a system of oppression which prevented Black people from getting into businesses. And so by the time there was freedom for Black people to get into businesses, the business sector was already dominated by other people. And those of you who study business and marketing, you will understand that sometimes it's hell and razor to get a share of the market when you're a new entrants. There are so many obstacles to getting into an established market. Right? Like predatory pricing. Why do you think the Chinese come into the market offering dark, cheap prices for commodities? And when they capture a segment of the market, gradually those prices rise. And then in some instances, they become more expensive than even the other people who were doing business in the sector. Miranda Brown, I don't have the luxury of more time to explain that to you. But I guess, I hope, I pray that you're smart enough to understand what I've just explained. Black people were left out of, they were forced out, they were locked out of the business sector. And so the only place they had to turn to was public service. In short, they were being corralled into an area where government, colonial or otherwise, could slaughter them at will. That is what we're experiencing here. Quality life.
Morning, brother. This chap, Parmanan, he likes to get on this program exposing emptiness. And the thing is that he seems to be a dense and wants to attack Black people in this country. But Parmanan must know that after slavery,
the colonialists still had oppression and depression on Africans in this country, even though they were kind of liberated. So the Indians who were close to the oppressors, because when all the oppressors say they're working no more, the Indians come and work. So they had a close relation between the Indians and the oppressors. So the Indians were given lands all over the place to plant. Blacks were planting too, but blacks' land was flooded by the Ville and many other places. The farms were flooded so that they can return back and work for small wages. Now, we talk about imbalances in public service, army, police, and what's not. We must also talk about the imbalances in businesses, major business, factories, industries. Who run those things? There are Indians imbalance, very high percentage of Indians, and people don't talk, Indians don't talk about imbalance, but they talk about the imbalance in the army, imbalance in the police force, and what's not. Pamanan, I think you should do some reading.
Morning, neighbor, morning. Morning, neighbor, morning. I look good in green, you know. Who's this? What is? I look good in green. I look darn good in green. Morning, are you morning? How are you? Welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. It is 7 hours 35. It's 35 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour. Like I say, I usually don't be late. I am usually deliberate. So y'all don't worry yourself with me. I'm not late. Y'all don't come picking no fighting with me. Good. It's Monday morning. How was your weekend? How did you spend your weekend? How did you pass the weekend? Did you rest and recuperate? Did you make some money? Lift your hand. Did you recommit to the struggle? What did you do? What did you do? What's the question I want to ask you? How are you feeling this morning? How was your last night? And how are you feeling this morning? Do you feel optimistic that, today you're going to get your just due? Do you feel that the system is going to be fair to you today? Are you trusting the judiciary a little more than you trusted it before Friday? Those are some of the things I want to know from you. But, those of you tuned into Politics 101 last night, Friday night, sorry. It's not last night. Friday night would agree that it's as if Politics 101 continued the discussion we started today Friday morning when I responded to Miranda Brown about the issue of generational wealth. I remember that discussion, the issue of generational wealth. I want to share with you a response from Nigel Hughes on Politics 101 Friday night to a question about the naysayers, the PPP and the acolytes.
David, I'm so happy that you have afforded me this opportunity. I'm going to start with the verb in that article. They talk about griping. Yes. This is not griping. And I'm going to give you some examples, and then I'm going to come to the personal. Where the government gives out all the oil blocks in the productive offshore sphere before 2015, and in one case, 1 week before 2015, to only Indian people outside of foreign companies, it automatically, completely removes the capacity of the African community in the oil sector to be able at the offshore level to deal with it. Let me give you practically what happens. In those offshore blocks that those Indian people got, they all went and started to trade it as an asset with foreign entities and made millions of US dollars before they even put a cent into exploration. So in other words, they paid nothing, got the exploratory license, which is a tradable asset. They go and then enter into contracts with international oil companies. A lot of them are in those opaque jurisdictions, Jersey Island and other places, and raise 10 to 15 million US dollars for their own benefit because they hold a license. So it is the easiest form of transferring to those people government money. The license is worth millions. This is offshore. All the geological work has already been done. So when they say that we're not griping. If you take that license and give it to your supporters, and you are not, there's no method, there is no criteria, nothing, and they go and trade and make millions. So they start off, if you give away 4 blocks, and each block generates 10 million each before you even get into exploration, that's $40 million already gone, US dollars, given to the other community. That's before 2015. And that's after you've been in government for, 20-something years, 22 years. Let's go to Linden. You transfer all the high-value commercial assets to NISIL, and then NISIL gives it to one ethnic group. If, as you turn off of Bamia into Linden, each and every one of those saw milling plots of land, every one of them, none of them is in the hands of either a Lindener or an African Guyanese. Linden has been sitting as a town for over a century. How is it that you do that? If you come to if you come to forestry, let's look at how those forestry licenses are distributed. And that's why disaggregated data is important. And you pick any area that you want and disaggregate the data. That's how it is. Now let me come to the griping bit. My partner and I have been in the oil and gas business advising oil and gas people since 2008. We took a commercial decision that that's where we're going. We figured it would go. This is during the PPP regime. We invested our resources, we got trained, and as a result, we have a substantial oil and gas clientele. Every single week, bar none, my friend, every week, a client comes to us who has been recommended to us and says, Mr. Hughes, I'm sorry, but we are getting pressure. We cannot use your law firm. Or if they are using the law firm, they say we are getting pressure. We can't do it. I give you an example. We got retained thrice to submit bids on behalf of foreign companies who were tendering from everything from alternate energy to other projects. After this company had submitted a bid, I have the email. They came back and said, Mr. Hughes, we're really sorry. We're very happy with your services, but we are told that our prospects of success are going to be marginal unless we switch lawyers. Now that's me. Imagine what is happening elsewhere in the profession and what is happening elsewhere in the commercial field. Let me close with this. To be able to borrow money, you have to go to the bank with security. And that security invariably is land. The rates that are 10, 12% quite often depends on your credit worthiness. One of the most prominent businessmen in this country went public on social media and said that he, with all his experience, gets 2 points higher than people who have less credit worthiness than him. If we go to let's go to the aggregates, licenses for stone. The stone is like making gold now. You probably make more money off of stone than you off of cocaine, because there's so many projects. Less than 15% of the permits that are given to mine stone are in the hands of African people. You just have to look at the trucks going up the East Bank and the ownership of the sand pits, and you will see who is getting the permits for the stone and for the sand. So to the people who say we are griping, I say just look at the data. I don't wish you to be sorry for me. I want you to look at the data, because we are not surrendering. We are saying that the way you have rigged this system, you can't turn around and say that we're griping. And I want them to publish not only the data on the companies that have got local content licenses, but what percentage of those companies have actually got contracts. And the closing one I want to leave with you is, if you take the Eccles industrial site, let us get a breakdown of how much of the land in the Eccles industrial site and how much of the land on the two sides of the Jumbie Bird Road all the way up to the Anteater, how much of that land has been allocated to persons other than the traditional supporters of the government of Guyana. And if they really want to tickle me, the commission to be able to get an acre of land on either side of that highway is $25 million. So we can have this discussion. I am willing to have it. So don't tell me I'm griping, because every single African business that you talk to in this country will say to you, that is the environment in which you operate. And if you don't stand up, or if you stand up, you will get more prosecution and you'll be targeted. The head of one of the investment agencies in this country says to our clients, switch. So please, don't let them get me started and tell me about we griping. I don't need your help.
Nigel Hughes here, and that is why you are in the right place. Right now, let me see. 1,645 of you are live here now. You're in the right place because you're getting it real. And I'm glad that you all have stayed with us on this program and continue to stay with us, because this is what we're about and this is what they don't want us. I want to shout out to my friend Ravi Dev. If you're listening, Ravi, that thing I read is from your newspaper. And I hope you got your report that this program is going to be on to cover what Nigel Hughes just said. Retract.
Good morning again. I hope you have listened to Nigel Hughes, our senior counsel. It is 40 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour on the 22nd day of April in the year 2022. Welcome to the program. Again, I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam, and this is the Guyanese Morning Time. I really don't want to say too much right now. I'm going to give you the first, let me see, 14 will take us to 8 o'clock. First 20 minutes to talk about that discussion of Nigel Hughes on Politics 101. Nigel Hughes, Vincent Alexander, and I get him big. Anyways, the panelists on Politics 101, Sister Olive Sampson. Let's talk about that for a few minutes, and then I'll engage you in some other discourses. Don't think I've forgotten that the teachers have won another victory. Labour has won another victory. Thank you, Justice Sandal Kisoon. Call it live. Good morning.
Good morning, Kadaki. Good morning. I heard you just thank Justice Sandal Kisoon. I would like to encourage the Guyanese people to keep their eyes on that individual, because that person has been ruling fairly for quite a while, and it wouldn't take nothing out of the PPP to actually take that man out of existence. So, let's start this conversation and keep our eyes on that individual, because, it could be an accident on the road, vehicle accident, and all of these things. So we need to keep our eyes on that, brother.
Caller.
Secondly, my main reason, yes, sir.
Before you go to your main reason, sometimes while we know all of these things, we must sometimes, as we say, hold our horses. We don't want to go fear mongering, do we?
No, we don't want to, but we need to keep our eyes open.
Caller, go ahead. Go ahead with your main point.
My brother. Anyway, my main reason for calling here Gaddafi, I just listened to Nigeria's presentation. And with all of these information Afro-Guyanese have in their hands, they continue to facilitate the PPP with their photo ops when they come to their community. Mainly Gaddafi. What happened last week here in Brooklyn, my brother? What happened last week in Brooklyn? I'm going to use your platform to encourage the Guyanese people to boycott those 2 restaurants that opened their doors in Brooklyn for Ali to come in there and have his photo, have to take to the United Nations to say, look, black people welcome me, black people love me. You hear me? We see, now, one thing I want to say to my Guyanese people, don't lose heart. Us out there in the diaspora, we're fighting for you and we're fighting for ourselves. Because when you guys win in Guyana, we in the diaspora win. Because of what we want to see happen for every Guyanese, not just Afro-Guyanese, but Afro-Guyanese force. Because they're the ones who are being marginalized. They're the ones who are the bottom of the scale. All right? Those people the other day at the Hills restaurant, mainly, according to information gathered, are the usual suspects who don't have a job and usually sits there and drink rum all day. For them to shout out and holler, Mr. President, we love you. Who is we? Who is all of us? Speak for yourself, lady. I'm encouraging the Guyanese people to boycott those 2 restaurants. All right?
Caller,
don't yes,
don't
sir.
go off the line where you're done making your point. I want us to give for it. I want us to give. Don't just hang up when you're done.
I will.
Don't hang up.
But all right, I'm right here. But that is my main reason for calling here today, Kadaki. What we saw there in Brooklyn was what you call it, a betrayal to the Guyanese public. Because that individual who stood there, that lady who stood there and said, Mr. President, we all love you, is one of the persons who usually pack barrels and send them to Guyana. If this government was doing right by the people, she wouldn't have to pack those barrels and take them to Ilford to feed the people, to clothe the people. This government is sitting idly by, while especially Afro-Guyanese are being destroyed. Our teachers, our nurses. But this woman sat down there to say, we love you, Mr. President. Well, not me. Speak for yourself. That is my contribution, Kadaki.
All right,
I'm right here.
Let me start by asking you this. If those 2 restaurants didn't open their doors, or is it natural that those 2 restaurants were open to business?
Yes, it's natural they were open to business.
Is it therefore would it therefore have been appropriate to refuse patronage?
Kadaki, it's a difference between refusing patronage and organizing.
Very well. All right.
Anybody's welcome to go and shop anywhere. But when you're going to organize people and call them and tell them that the president is coming, y'all come. That wasn't a mistake, Kadaki. That wasn't a mistake. That wasn't a by the way situation Ali turned up, especially at the Hills.
I just want to ensure that I understand clearly what happened.
No,
right?
No, people were called. People were organized to be there.
So the proprietors organized this thing. Good.
Especially the Hills, because there were people who were called and encouraged to come there. But they didn't call the right set of people.
All right, let me ask you this question, therefore. Do you think the PPP will call PNC or coalition business persons to organize a visit for Ali?
Definitely not.
Good.
This individual, this individual is one of the persons who would have organized so many things in the name of the PNC. Now to see her on that side of the border, it tells me and the people of Guyana that this woman, as far as I am concerned, is now a PPP. Go ahead, brother.
So is it okay for people to switch allegiance one way or the other?
Bro, you are allowed to do as you like.
Good.
Nobody is controlling,
All right.
especially in the US. Guyana is a different situation. You speak about the government and you're put in a different bracket.
All right. So this individual, like everybody else, has a right to switch allegiance. So maybe the individual has switched allegiance. But my point is, and why I asked the question, why I asked the specific question, right? As to whether or not they were open for business regularly, I wanted to know if this thing was particularly organized by them, which you have established. And therefore, like I said, I don't expect the PPP to call a PNC person to organize a visit by Ali. And so one can assume, or one can draw a conclusion, right, that this person, this so quote unquote organizer, is now in the PPP's camp, right? And therefore, the call for boycott of this particular business, because they don't now represent the coalition supporters' interest, or I want to go forward by saying maybe African Guyanese interests, might be a justifiable call, right? I received information that suggests that when somebody said in the audience that we will not support this restaurant anymore, another person responded, "You don't have to."
Yes. For a matter of fact, she did a live, I think it's the Saturday, stating that they will talk, but they will still come here at my restaurant. And I want to make sure she understands that I would be one of them who's boycotting and encouraging people to boycott her. And the main reason to boycotting this woman is because Afro-Guyanese are suffering in Guyana, but that move there the other day was a self-serving move. Kadaki, that lady tried that about a year or two ago, made an attempt that she was warned not to do it. But yet still, come Friday, that this is what happened. She organized the usual suspects who are usually sitting there because she know and she reached out to Rickford Burke, and these other people. There was going to be a protest outside of our business place, and hard questions were going to be asked inside there. Ali said what's in that building, looking at all of them and calling them fools by talking about equity in Guyana. Where is the equity? Where's the equality in Guyana that this man was talking about? But yet still, yesterday she decided to go on her page and share Ali's live that he did talking about coming to New York. So it is only fair for me to say that she's over on the other side, because she did a live talking about how much she did for the black government and they did nothing for her. Now, does that give you the right to betray the rest of your black brothers and sisters?
Yes, scholar.
I know it.
Scholar.
Yes.
It does give her the right. You of yourself have said you have said two things in this little gap here. It is self-serving. It is self-serving, and she also lamented doing quote unquote a lot for the black government, and she got nothing in return. Right? Politics across the world and what we call lobbying and so on is an investment people make. It's political. Somebody call it political entrepreneurship or something like that. The reality is, a lot of the people who are out there masquerading, and I like to use the word masquerading to refer to certain people and their behavior. A lot of people masquerading out there that they have black interests at heart, and they have the minority interests at heart, and they want to see the PPP do better or governments do better for the citizens. They're actually positioning themselves to get close to the corridors of power. In this instance, this particular person believes that by hosting Ali, she will get closer to the corridors of power, and what the black government didn't do for her, Ali is going to do for her. Right? She's all. Let me finish, the man. Wait, the man.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
She's also of the impression like she said, and you said that she said it, I didn't hear it, right? Y'all gonna talk, but y'all gonna still come. It's a challenge. It is a challenge for Black people. It is a challenge to Black people. Let me see if y'all could boycott my business, as y'all claim y'all gonna boycott it. And I will prove to you that whether you come or come not, I will survive. Because here what happened. A lot of people tell themselves that the presence of Ali in those restaurants, the payoff might have been good for that day. But the long-term impact is yet to be seen. And the long-term impact could only be impactful and eye-opening if people were displeased with our efforts, displeased with our moves, displeased with our allegiance, really stick to their guns and boycott. Because then she will realize, like I usually say, Indo-Guyanese will come to your restaurant with Ali. They're going to clap, they're going to cheer you on, they're going to call your brother and sister. But when Ali gone, they ain't coming and buy your food. It's your own people going to go for come back. And if your own people are serious about feeling betrayed, then they know what they have to do. That's my position.
Thank you.
A lot of people call me asking me to fight this fight. It's not a fight I really got to fight, you know. It's people got to fight the fight. Because I'm not in the US, I'm not in the hills or wherever, Brooklyn, wherever. It's y'all there.
Exactly.
Good.
Exactly.
Go ahead. You got a few minutes to wrap it.
But this individual, Kadaki, I like talk about, especially when he come to Guyana, to tell people that, you know, Guyana is my heart and soul, man. This individual went down to Guyana, reached out to the PPP office, namely the Prime Minister office, went to beg for a land and was told that they ain't get land down there. That was back in a while back. So now I guess she's trying to secure herself. But I'm calling on Afro-Guyanese to boycott this woman, and not just Afro-Guyanese, Indo-Guyanese also in the diaspora who see and understand and feel the pain that Guyanese are going through under this government, to boycott this woman for facilitating a wicked regime. Kadaki, this was a photo op, like I said before. Kadaki, 2019, we were organizing for some ministers to come up to this country. A business person from Queens, an Indo business person from Queens, found our number and reached out and said, I will pay for one minister to come first class, put him up in an hotel. Also, if you guys need transportation, I wouldn't give you any of my transportation to be seen. I will not be coming to your event because at the end of the day, I live in a predominantly Indo PPP area. And my business will suffer if people know that I am doing this. But that's this woman is taking the Afro-Guyanese, the Afro-Guyanese in Brooklyn or in the diaspora for granted. You understand? But I hope that the rest of Guyanese in the diaspora, and for those who pass this through and decide that they want some Guyanese food, will take this thing serious. Look, we get L&L over there, we get Linda's. You get Linda's restaurant, Google it, and you're going to find it. So far, Linda still seems to be on game. Boycott the hills. Boycott. Don't come telling me all about the charity work she would have done, because she would have betrayed all of that. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you for your call. I bet y'all that business will survive because people, as they say in Guyana, people gotta eat. People gotta eat. Right? And when people want to eat, they're gonna go to the business. Trust me, they're gonna go to the business. It's a challenge to those who are living in the US, those who are living in that area. If somebody were to get a situation report in another 6 months or so, we will hear how that business is faring. Call your life. Thank you for calling. Call your life. Thank you for calling.
Mr. Amsterdam.
Yes, caller.
Mr. Amsterdam.
Yes, caller. This caller is not hearing us. Call your life. Call it. You're playing with me this morning, man. Right? You see, one of the things I know, and I always say, a lot is on me, you know. A lot is on me. In any situation, a lot is on me. I must make the final determination where my money is spent. I told you guys about Corpolani. Since Corpolani decided that they were going to go to court and they were going to move those vendors from in front or close to their business on Regent Street, I never went back to that store. I said the same thing the other day. Those who support banks DIH on the pavement and so on, they have moved them. And if you relocate your business, don't support banks. It's as simple as that. Right? There's sometimes when out of necessity you have to support certain businesses. But I'm sure you have alternative places to eat. Some places might be cooking even tastier and healthier food. Because when you got a man just walk off the road and go in your kitchen to clap roti, you have to ask what the hygienic standards. Call your life.
That man had wanted to meet with people. Why did not go to town hall and organize? He had just wanted to have fun. He just had wanted a photo that he could take it back to let the people see that the people love him. Black people love him. Then when you go to King County, you got a set of nurses, black nurses from Guyana, to take a photo. Why did not let people know that he was coming to Brooklyn, to have a meeting, to reach with people? I would personally would have gone to King County Hospital and reach him. If he didn't want to talk to me, I would have yelled out to let people know this is Ali. Because I am living close to King County Hospital. I would have walked and go there. I would have walked and go there, point him out to people. I would have let people know that this is Ali, you know, this is what he's doing to people. You don't have nurses to walk in Guyana. He's lying. He's sending people away. He's bringing in people from outside to walk in Guyana. Don't come and let people know that he's all of this big time president and he's this and he's that. I would let everybody around the neighborhood know this is a wicked man. You know, this is a wicked man. They had wanted to always reach this man, you know, a long time. I had the opportunity was to talk to him that day, to let people know this is a wicked, wicked guy, this. But that's it, you know. I'm sorry that, you know, if I had known, but aside from what that the people at Utica did, you know, that woman know that he was coming there. She said that or the night before the call, and she had the right to tell him no. Because she know much about Ali. Why? Why she did that? Why? Why she did that? I personally was gone to King County, can't live close to King County, but I never knew this. I personally was gone to King County. Why call back over him? Boots on the ground. And they had the opportunity was to do it. But you know why he didn't? Because people would have been out there waiting to protest. That's why he keep it a secret.
Thank you, caller. Let me say this here. And I'm not picking a fight. I'm just being me. Brenda Casey, good morning. Brenda Casey has been a long-lasting supporter and viewer of this program. And so it's not ordinarily I respond to. Call it, mute your microphone, please. Good morning. I hope not to rub Brenda Casey the wrong way, but Brenda Casey just indicated to me it was black people problem. Brenda Casey said she's displeased, and I'm paraphrasing here, with what this woman did. But she will not boycott her business. She doesn't believe that her business should be boycotted. She wouldn't want a black person to lose their business. There's the problem. Be too nice. Be too considerate. Let me tell you something. For the freedom of black people, people had to lose their lives. Black people had to lose their lives in the days of slavery. And even post-slavery. Pre-independence and post-independence, people had to lose their lives for black people freedom. And I'm saying that even at this time, if people got to lose their life for black people freedom, so be it. Much less business. If you have to lose your business for black people freedom, so be it. I ain't holding no brief for anybody who is self-serving. Why must I have your interest at heart and you don't have mine? Behaviors like those hurt the black cause. They hurt the fight of those who are fighting to illuminate to the world that we have a racist and vindictive and oppressive government in Ghana. They say you lay down with dog, you're going to get flea. And if you embrace the oppressor, then you are just as oppressive as the oppressor. You're empowering them, you're enabling them. You are causing, when we are out there shouting at the UN that these people are vindictive, these people are discriminatory, listen to Nigerians make the case just now. We are out there making that case. And then there are those who are going to rub shoulders with these folks and say, don't worry, them who talking this at the UN. It ain't truth. A picture tells 1,000 words. Look how we have a good relationship with this man. This man coming me kitchen clapping roti. This man riding bicycle down Brooklyn. This man, I hear all black people talking out of love this man. You're making our work darn difficult. And by creating that difficulty for us, you are making it harder for Afro-Guyanese and the oppressed to get their just due. And so if it means 10 black people businesses have to close in this struggle so that the message is delivered, so be it. 10 black people business must struggle, must close. If it means 10 black people got to lose their life and freedom, like in South Africa, so be it. Because at the end of the day, we must learn to look for the greater good, the community good, not individualism. Y'all say Winnie Mandela was wrong. The South African freedom fighters were wrong when they were putting necklaces on some people because they were humbugging the struggle and they were delaying freedom. Anybody who stands in the way of freedom must be removed. They are an obstacle, and obstacles must be removed, whether it's business or people. Call it your life. Call it your life.
Yeah. I bless the merchants, and to the rest of the Guyanese nation, those in and out of the diaspora, those who are listening. Let us remember one story that God had declared. Jesus Christ chose 12 disciples. And out of the 12 disciples, one allowed the devil to possess him, and he became Judas. We say that sin is bound to come. But woe be unto those who allow the evil to use their body to come through them. You know what Judas did? Judas went, betrayed Christ without a piece of silver. And when he done betray him, he went and carried back that silver. He regret what he had done. Because his motive, he grieved for money, didn't serve his purpose. You got to realize money is not all in life. And that's what's happening. Some people will betray you. Some people will betray what you're planning, what you're doing. Those are Judas. And you can't run behind Judas. You know what Judas did in the end? Judas went and hung himself. Judas committed suicide. He went to a tree and he hung himself. And the word of God said, of course, you hung from a tree. He committed suicide. He went through some terrible stress and depression and realized what he had done. And I don't know why people are allowing themselves to sell their own birthright. Why are you selling your birthright for 2 pieces of silver, 30 pieces of silver? How long would that last you? How long would it last you? I listen to an individual, Mr. Karaki, and the Guyanese nation. It's amazing. From somewhere from Lane Avenue area. I hear what this young woman was saying. Kind of on all the people from Lane Avenue who call themselves to be black people. I said, the government is doing nothing for you. She gets some amper when nearly breaks she back to fetch. And what the people and the government give them money for repair rooftop. And some, why these people can't understand that this campaign mode was started, this election mode, is that the true identity of the government? Why can't I look for example, Guyanese, look at the teachers and law and the court, find that the government is wrong in every way toward the teacher, and still they will not give now a teacher, we are talking about all the teachers. So what do you think they got in interest for the public service workers? Why Guyanese don't come to the self and realize and start selling the birthright? Why many Guyanese are trying, and especially the African ones, are trying to become Judas? The president went to America and played there to see the federal evil again. And use it for now they go back, they're going to make a laugh of many. But the point is, when you stand up for righteousness, you know that some will prevail in the form of light, but they are real wickedness. They are torn and twisted among themselves. Don't bother them. Stand for what is right, stay what is right, and war against these principalities and power. These are evil possessed things. And a long man love money to the extreme. That's why the word of God said the craving and the love of money is the root. Not a branch or a leaf, is the root of all evil. That money, but the craving and the love and the lust for it, you allow that to control you. So you gotta be careful. Some people gonna sell their birth, right? They're gonna sell their mother, their father, their brother, their sister, and their own regardless of what. So Guyanese stand more strong. When you see this thing, be more careful because your chicken coming more close to home, election coming more close. I am calling especially from the African Guyanese, and especially the young ones, do not allow yourself to be brainwashed and little money and little bribe coming up to this. We got about what? We got money about 1 year and 6 months, 12 or 18 months left to come in for election. Y'all be careful. Do not allow yourself to be sold. Don't sell your body. Guys, stand up. Look at what maybe the African them. Look what the government went to do. Look what they tried to do to act down. Look what they tried. Oh my God. What the African guys want to realize that this government will never ever support them, but will sacrifice them to the kingdom of darkness. And those less fortunate Indians who are with the Africans, and those less fortunate Indians who up to yourself, this government, if this government could run against us as citizens, they're supposed to represent us. They gone with ExxonMobil, they gone with this against the nation. After the African, they're coming for y'all Indian, They will be coming for y'all because evil don't stop at nothing but destroying and destruction. So I'm warning our Indian brothers and sisters and the African, they vote this government out. Mr. Kadaki, God bless the program. Guyanese, God bless us. Taliban was right. Let them Judas go to hell with them. Taliban was right.
Thank you for your call. All right, so before I well, the calls are coming. All right, let's talk. It's your program. Call it live.
Kadaki, good morning. I call to support the caller that say that boycott the Ales and Pam and Steve restaurant, because Pam and Steve that encourage Ali to go in there with dirty hand and making roti and shaking roti off of the road into the restaurant, that people have to go in there and buy their stuff. I am 100% boycott all of them restaurants, and I hope Simona Brooms is taking note, because Darius is the owner of Ales, and Darius and Simona Brooms is friend. And I hope Simona Brooms take note on that point. No black people stand to ask that man no question. If I was passing there, I had some serious questions to ask him, and I didn't want answer from him. I didn't want answer, but nobody stand up to ask him no question. And it looks so like if he loves black people, and he's not. Because I would have asked him some question that I didn't want him to answer me. And I know he wouldn't answer me. And then I would let you know, this is a freedom of speech country that we're in. And Pam and Steve on Utica Avenue, people must boycott them. The Ales, people must boycott them. You understand? He went to Linda's, but he wasn't welcome there. So they need to to boycott the Ales and Pam and Steve restaurant. I don't care what nobody said, but they need to boycott them. There's other restaurant in Brooklyn, New York. There's other guys that cook good food and sell good food. Go there and buy. So I could tell you, Kodaki, I was so upset when I saw this thing on Facebook. And Pam and Steve, well anyhow, Pam and Steve, as it let's say, them is PPP. So that's why them are the inside here. That might take Kodaki on the program, but I have to call you.
Thank you, caller.
Yeah.
There's a comment I want to respond to. Avril Edwards, I said last Friday that it's okay to disagree with people, but don't come calling them dog on this program. Right? I'm not going to tolerate it. I am removing your comment. Right? I'm removing your comment, and in future, my job put you in timeout. Watch yourself. Call your life.
Yeah, good morning, Kodaki. You know what those people are saying? I agree with them 100%. Because let me tell you what's going to happen in the end. Those businesses will go down. And the same installed regime, Ali, going to get someone of his Indian people to buy over that place for less than it is worth. And when that happens, it's another African person business that will be going under. Because in this time, people know what goes on with Guyana. And to the little that Guyana, she big enough, that is how they behave with these people. And when they behave like that, they just get a feather in the cap to say, imagine, we going, because right now the talk is that ignorant, and that is Rickford workplace, and nobody Rickford didn't even come out to do what we had to do. But we know the plan that was not to have Africans out there to protest and let the world know, and that is surely a photo opportunity. Well, Linda's would never have gone that route, because Linda's is a business that is in clique with over thing with Mark. And once you listen to Mark's show on the behavior of the installed government, you would think twice or thrice to do something like what they did. The Bible reading, the farmer planted the seeds, and the person go and sow things within the seed and try to destroy the crop. But Jesus said, let fall. When the day of harvest, we're going to bound up the wild things, burn them, and we're going to use the good things. Now coming to our big thing. Out there is the problem of the poisoning or some other drug, other substance being added to a water bottle and cause nurses to end up sick, going to the hospital. We got to study so many things with the water. Many things we got to study. I could remember earlier on an earlier program, I spoke about this water system that we are buying now. We them buy, I don't buy water. And you don't know what could go in to the water system, and you buy it as bottled water. Well, we have seen it become reality. And what public servants have got to remember, it may be laborious, and you might not want to walk with your water in your Gucci handbag, but get an ordinary bag and walk with your water and your food, so you will not be like those nurses. Because let me tell you something does start, and when you see the results, either you discontinue or you continue. That will happen in all other places. Now when we come in to talk about we got those children who have died apart to what the relatives say, like suddenly. I hope proper investigations and the truth of the autopsies must be made known, so that the people in that area, and not that only area, around Guyana can know the cause of those children sudden deaths and be careful and monitor not only children but adults as well, because there is very, at least me, it got me studying so many things. I wouldn't put it out there because I never let it come from me. So many things that these children just up to block and die, something wrong. So y'all sit down and think lastly. Now they are digging wells. I understand. Well, our well, they're supposed to be digging it. Because I only get water. Sometimes you get water. Now I heard some persons complaining that since the start of the war, they're getting a lot of muddy water coming through the taps. Well, like they didn't meet down to my end and the rain it didn't meet down. Because rain is falling like that to 25 water. Another place where they dug a well, the neighbors who living close to this well is bottom flat, is being constantly flooded after the well was being dug. The person who get the well, or persons who get the well, like they don't know what happened. They had a man that used to work with Kaiwa in the days gone by, years ago, what the authority used to call it then. He used to be digging wells. That man is a retired African person. And you know these wells that they are digging, they knocked him off from Gaiwo. He had to end up as an ordinary brown and white guard. You know, the same African man, Gaiwo, now got to call back to try to correct the fault of the wells that are being dug around the country. Bye-bye.
You know what? That same African man, if he went back to Guyana as a public service employee to try to correct the fault, is a clown. It's a clown. When supply doesn't meet demand, you get the opportunity to call your price. And since one day is saying they had to turn to the African man, it means that they don't have supply in the country with his skills. He should have a consultancy going. He should be charging big money for correcting the work that others have done. Let me tell you the story that many might have heard. A ship was docked at a port, and when it was ready to sail again, it couldn't move. They couldn't get it started. They called all the engineers in the area, and they couldn't get it started. And somebody recommended a particular engineer who was retired. And they reached out to him, and he went and he assessed the problem. He said, yes, I can fix it. They said, go ahead, fix it. He said, it can cost $9 million. They said, $9 million? He said, yeah. He said, go ahead and fix it. He took a wrench and he tapped one part of the engine structure and it started. The company asked him to itemize his cost because they can't understand a couple of taps costing $9 million. He said, no problem, I'll itemize my cost. And he sent his invoice. The couple of taps, $1. Where? The couple of taps, $1. Knowing where to tap. 8,999,999. And we have to understand, a lot of people feel they look at a job and say, hey, it's an easy thing you have to do. Why so much money? People have to recognize the value of knowledge. And if it's that African brother knows how to rectify the problem with the wells that are spewing mud, then that African brother has to recognize his value and charge accordingly. But some of us are set in the mentality that we have to be employed with somebody to be somebody. All the people who are employed with somebody are nobodies. Right? Because if they were to take that very skill, they can be an employer. You ever see, do you on a regular, you see people going to bow down to employees and beg them for this and beg them for that and lay over backward for them to assist them and so on? No, that's got to the owners and the bosses and so on. Why not be an owner and be a boss? Y'all could dismiss me from Guy and then y'all can come and ask me to come back to rectify a problem. The money got right. Money got it right. And so y'all tell the African brother in case he didn't get a memo. Tell him. It says opportunity. And sometimes God has create situations for you to recognize when it's your time, you know. And so you can get your value. Good? 29 minutes past 8 o'clock hour. Let me tell y'all something. The topic for this morning was labor has won. Labor has won. All the naysayers might be quiet now. The teachers have gotten justice at the courts. The court ruled on Friday that, hey, is it right of teachers? As a matter of fact, I can't remember the exact quote from Justice Sandel Kissoon. But basically saying is the one tool unions have. Unions got a one tool. That is the absolute tool. Strike. And it's enshrined in the Constitution, the right to strike. And what that means, in case you don't recognize the value of that ruling, it means that the nurses can go on strike. It means that all the public servants can go on strike. Justifiably so. Of course, you have to be able to justify your action, your strike action. And I think there's a lot of justification in this society for public servants striking. The government failing to engage in collective bargaining is the number one reason why unions and workers should go on strike. Collective bargaining is a right for workers and workers' representatives. And for as long as the PPP administration is disrespecting and disregarding that right, that's justification enough to go on strike. And the courts have just said, when you strike justifiably, they can't cut your money. So all those workers who were concerned that, hey, if we strike, we're going to lose pay and we can't pay, we can't note and we can't pay rent and we can't pay this, understand that. The court is on your side. It just said that you could go and strike and you don't have any right to cut your money. The union is also protected. The agency shop arrangement is also protected. He said the government acted unconstitutionally to stop the deductions. And so the deductions must continue. That's a win-win. That's a big win for the teachers and labor. And I hope that the Guyana Public Service Union and all the other unions in this country will make good use of that ruling and what it has done for them. I encourage you, the season is ripe for striking. You have justifiable reasons to strike. Good. But let me tell you what else is happening in the area of education in this country and teachers. Saddam Hussein, the man that Justice Sandel Kissoon said was self-serving and he was not forthright at the hearing. I had a meeting at CPC a few weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, with the staff. And he introduced someone. Real quick, don't tell me not to celebrate yet. I will celebrate until the CCJ tells me otherwise. You can't determine when I celebrate, boss. I will celebrate my little victories as they come. Mr. Appeal says he will appeal the ruling Let him appeal the ruling. I'm willing to put my head on a block. The CCJ will uphold that ruling because it's a universal ruling. Across the world, the people have a right to strike. It's a right to strike. So I'm not going to lie down and be depressed and so on, waiting for Anil to appeal ruling. The Attorney General, Minister of Legal Losses. No. I ain't waiting for that. I celebrating now. Back to Saddam Hussein at CPC. Saddam Hussein had a meeting at CPC the other day. And they made some structural changes, which until maybe a few days ago, I think I saw them publicized in the Chronicle only. That there's now a director at CPC. I don't remember the woman's name because that's not the purpose of my discourse, really. This is the purpose of my discourse. At that meeting, Saddam Hussein said to the staff at CPC, the current batch of students, trainee teachers as we call them, when they have completed training and are placed in schools, will ensure that 100% of the teachers in schools are trained. I want you all to listen to me carefully. According to Saddam Hussein, when the next batch of trainee teachers graduate, that will ensure that the education sector, the schools in this country, are manned by 100% trained teachers. Wonderful accomplishment if it were to be so. Wonderful accomplishment. Let us not talk about quality and all of that. It would be a good thing if our schools have 100% trained teachers. It means there won't be short staff for teachers. It means they won't be short of subject specialists. It means our children are likely to be getting good tuition. Here's where the idiocy comes in. As a result of that, CPC will not be taken in. The government of Guyana will not be training another batch of Guyanese teachers for the education sector. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Our schools will be 100% manned by trained educators. And for that reason, CPC will not train others. They will not be accepting applications from locals in the near future to be trained as teachers because they're at capacity in the schools. Can you understand such ignorance? Because here what? A teacher or two, God forbid, drop dead tomorrow. It means a teacher or two short the system. Where are you going to get the replacements from? A teacher or two, because its starvation wages remain, decide that they're going to the UK or Europe or somewhere to ply their trade. Where will we get the replacement from? You want me to tell you where the replacement coming from? Or you want me to tell you where the CPC is going to be focusing now? On Caribbean intake. According to the meeting at CPC, the government of Guyana is now focusing on training teachers from the Caribbean region. And so perhaps they're going to get people from Barbados and Trinidad and Jamaica and wherever else to attend CPC for the teaching service trained teacher certificate. And so I think they're thinking, or I believe that they're thinking, that if they have a shortage of teachers here in Ghana, those people in the Caribbean that will be trained are going to come from are going to take up the slack here. Now, I'm no genius, but I'm already predicting that if people from the Caribbean islands have to come to Guyana to teach, they will have to come here to teach at salaries that are superior to what the government is currently paying. Because nobody is going to leave their country and come here for starvation wages. And so it's the government of Ghana, via Saddam Hussein, saying to the staff at CPC that just like they're doing with the nurses from Bangladesh and so on, they're prepared to pay foreign nationals more money than the locals to provide the service. Y'all think on that. I want you to think on that. I ain't going further. I just want y'all to think on that. Let's talk a little more about what's happening at CPC. Sitara Gad had said that every trainee that goes to CPC will be placed at a school. They will not be receiving any stipend. They are not trainee teachers. They are actually in-service teachers on training. In-service teachers on training. Every trainee at CPC is supposed to be an in-service teacher on training. There is no pre-service teachers anymore, according to Sitaragal. And so every trainee is supposed to be attached to a school and be receiving a salary. Well, I will tell you beyond the shadow of a doubt that currently the students, the trainee teachers at CPC, a majority of them have not been attached to schools, right? Y'all hear what I'm saying? A lot of them, a majority of them have not been attached to schools. And so they're not getting a salary because they're not employed. And they're not getting a stipend because there's no provision for stipend anymore in the system. So a large number of our trainee teachers are at CPC, having to attend class, having to find resources to attend class and do assignments and so on, but they are broke. They are broke. So the students went, some of them went to where? Student development to complain. They were told, there's now be business. We ain't got nothing to do with that. Some of them went to Priya and complained. She gave them phone numbers and she gave them assurances. But like she did with Benjamin's Bakery, she is not taking calls now and responding to messages. Right? Some students went to Teaching Service Commission and they got the royal runaround. They were told no schools are available to accommodate them. And whenever there is a vacancy, they will be contacted. But Priya didn't say that. Priya didn't say it depends on availability of schools and vacancy in schools. She said every teacher will be attached to a school as a staff. And so there's no provision for stipend. They should be paid a salary. So how are these trainee teachers supposed to survive? Huh? How are they supposed to survive? Isn't this for the marginalization of the already marginalized? But no. The likes of Parmanand and so on will say, no, PPP is the best government. And I'll even go to Brooklyn and say, PPP is an equitable government. Okay? You all think on that. It's 18 minutes to 9 o'clock. I have some voice notes to play. Let's start with y'all start sending me voice note already, man. I don't know where to start. All right, I can start with this one. Hopefully, it's the right one to start with.
Yeah, good morning, Kadaki, and good morning to all guys. Kadaki, why it is the Attorney General are smoking cigarette on the corridor of the High Court? The corridor is still the court is the building, and you aren't supposed to smoke cigarette in public buildings. That is total disrespect, and he's supposed to apologize for what he do. Anyone could just watch back the video with the news, and they will see smoking cigarette on the corridor. Thank you. I'm looking for that Attorney General, apologize to the country.
So according to this scholar, the Attorney General was seen at last Friday's sitting in the corridor of the High Court smoking a cigarette. You know there are laws in the books of Guyana that say you should not be smoking in public places. And so if one of seniors, the Attorney General, is smoking in a public place, then the caller has a right to highlight this as wrong. And he's calling on the Attorney General to apologize for the disrespect to the courts and the laws of Guyana. I guess that's a matter for the Chancellor of the Judiciary to investigate. Or some people are freer than others under the laws of Guyana. I don't know. But I know in some territory, some jurisdiction, if the Attorney General were to flout the law like that, heads would roll. Voice note.
This is the water that PPP need people to drink in Madio. Cut off Salboro water that he could get water for full his tank. You know how much tank? He get an underground tank that he built with concrete. He could get all the water, and other black people have to use this water. Kudoki when Narton come, when Grant was in power for 5 years, when he come, he set at David Adams' place. Where David Adams was a dead PPP, eating PPP time, he get contract for cook for the school, cook for the dorms, buying things, get contract for supply the office and the hospitals. Let me make it short. He come and sit down right there. They don't get time with match people. They take on people, the council, when she was council deputy, they don't have time with match people. All they do is walking and they buy the same coolie business people. When they come out about the coolie business people, don't want to see them. When Mr. Narton come, he does the same thing, go and sit down by Adam's place. Adam's eating both sides. And instead he walk around Madio and see what people is going through in Madio. Then when they win election, is not taking a foundation Madio person that have vision for Madio and put them there. They take people who come from outside for put them there. It's just what people doing, it's just what the APN you doing. You hear? And people vex when one see going up for making this party because you know why? I just act frank. I start playing because it's gonna be a drugs party. But anyway, but them are doing nothing for AP and you people. I watch now to going all over the place and it's not coming to Madio. Why? We in Madio is not dogs, you know. We is not lion pride, you know. We is not tigers, we is not snake, you know. But when election come, oh, we like Madio people. And you know Madio is an AP and you stronghold. The local government election, police okay promised them in the NG come. Land and all kind of thing. When they're done, give them win and imagine they give them nothing. Pay them $10,000 a month for wild bench with the umbrella. But the people that you have put in, not put it, the deputy and the mayor, them can give no report. God is that down easy like a lamb, easy like a dog, like a cunning fox. Wait if when they win election for jump up and run to front, forget position, style for magic people. But Mr. Kadoki, this go wrong. This go wrong. I'm going to walk people, let us rebel. When we will let us rebel, because we don't want these people to run mad, because there's not magic people. Julian come in, go to deputy come in, go to school. Mr. Adams come in, a big man looking for money and gold easy. And we ain't taking these things. We ain't taking it anymore. We ain't taking it.
Thank you for that voice note. I see Miranda Brown saying that when she went to school, Caribbean teachers came here to teach. And Guyanese teachers also went to the Caribbean to teach. That's a fact. But I want Miranda to prove to me that Guyanese teachers could have gotten jobs ahead of the Caribbean counterparts in those Caribbean islands. I challenge Miranda to prove that to me. Right? That's what I want. Prove to me that Guyanese teachers could leave here and go to any Caribbean territory, as a matter of fact, and get jobs ahead of the citizens of those territories once they are duly qualified for them.
Kadaki, Guyanese, Guyanese, Afro-Guyanese, Afro-Guyanese. My blood boiled. My blood boiled from that interview there that I heard Mr. Nigel use. My blood boiled for my people. Afro-Guyanese, stand up. Jagdiho, Jagdiho. The devil of Saibande. You are a devil of Saibande. The PPP and Sul and Lord must be taken out by any means necessary. By any means necessary. I'm telling you. Or else, Afro-Guyanese, they're going to wipe you all out of the face of the country. Afro-Guyanese, stand up for your right. There must be an uprising. There must be a solution to this. Stand up. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. You're being marginalized, Afro-Guyanese. You're being put away. My blood boiled. My blood is boiling. And I believe, and this is my opinion. This is my opinion. All what I'm saying is my opinion. I believe 100% and more of what Mr. Nigel Hughes just said. It is there. The evidence is there. It's in black and white. Rise up, Afro-Guyanese. Rise up. That's my time for today.
I see JTCO is making a very interesting comment there, maybe in the form of a question. So foreign teachers will not be able to strike. I'm glad that you can go there. Because like I said with the contract workers, instead of putting you on the fixed pension level, the PPP has been using contract employment for several reasons, right? To give, number one, their preferred people better wages and salaries in the public service without paying the entire public service better wages and salaries. And number two, to control how high they jump when they say jump. And so the same thing will be held over the heads of any contract worker, any person comes as a teacher from a foreign land as a contract worker. I'm sure a clause will be in there to say that they can't strike. You know, the Guyana Police Force ranks and Guyana Defense Force ranks tell you they can't strike and so on because it's a part of the contractual undertaking. That is what will be used against them. So it's a way of controlling the workforce, first and foremost. It's also a way of oppressing, continuing the oppression of the majority of people who look like you and me who take up these jobs in the public service. We don't want them. They're too disgruntled. They just stand up for their right. So let us look for people who are, what's the word I want to use? Pliable. Voice note.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, viewers. Last night, Rick Ford and Mark was on the show, Rick Ford show, and it was very interesting. I think Guyanese should go back and look at that show. What those people did when Ali was there, the lady with the red hair and the others, is very bad. It's very bad. And Afro-Guyanese, you guys need to really take a stock of yourself and see that a government is discriminated against Afro-Guyanese in Guyana, and you went ahead to greet Ali in that way is a slap in the face of Afro-Guyanese, even though you have a right to support who you want to, right? But let me say something. Even though y'all try to make him comfortable and try to give him all assurance that he must not discriminate, he could discriminate more. His administration is going to discriminate more. He and Barji Abdio, they are a racist party in Guyana, and if Guyanese don't come together and get them out, you all would be discriminate more, you all would suffer more. And yes, Mark say and Rick first say boycott them, boycott the business. Boycott the business. Let them know that this is serious times. You don't suck up to dictators. You don't. The whole world know. Look how they're treating Guyanese, especially Afro-Guyanese, taking away their land, in giving them work. And then you gonna suck up the man like that and he coming on in the air and crying? No. Let them feel the squeeze. Yes, boycott the business. Boycott the business. Mark is right. And Mark says he's taking his name out from some thing that God's supposed to name Utica Avenue, Guyana Avenue. Boycott the business. That is my take for today.
Thank you for your call.
Good morning, Kidaki. Good morning, viewers. Kidaki, I don't know if you can remember. They used to get karaoke at PC's on Friday nights. I know if you can remember. And they had a competition where Blim win. And all excuse PC's lady make not forgive Blim she had shown people there. And you know what the Buxton people say? Boycott. And from that night, karaoke done. They open store and all kind of thing now here. Yes. And in the art of Buxton, boycott is boycott. I don't care. Boycott is boycott. I'm not one of the few. But boycott is boycott. I like cook more food. I just cook more food. I rather my food at days in the fridge and me throw away when me get ready. But me don't cook food for throw away. Boycott is boycott. Let them feel the heat. Let them feel it. You can't just sell your brother and your sisters them for a few silver. Boycott is boycott. There is a show. She does go behind people back and doing things with the oppressors. Boycott. Lindas, up your games. Only uno.
Call your life.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm so glad to be able to get on to you. Kadaki, not only is Sand Hills owner Doris Rodney, she's not the only one that facilitated Ali. He was a Pam and Steve turning roti, clapping roti. So she told her establishment needs to be boycotted too. Secondly, Doris Rodney establishment was one of the businesses that had to be shut down by the NYPD in New York through the COVID time because she was still operating it. A lot of black men died from going down in her basement and drinking rum. She needs to be exposed. She also employs the undocumented and pay them $60 a day, working like a jackass, right? She needs to be exposed. What she did us wrong. She did us wrong. That's my take.
Thank you for your call.
Bye.
Well, them say for it, Them say if Ori come from bottom of river and tell you alligator get teeth, believe him. I can't say yeah or nay because I'm not there. I don't know what's happening over there. I didn't even know the geography of the place and so on. Is them who that they got tell me call your life.
Good morning, my brother. A pleasant day to you and your listening viewers. I think the time is more than right for African people in particular to start recognizing the destruction that is being created for them. I am not against the rest of Guyanese, whether you're Amerindian, East Indian, or whatever. But this program is mainly to bring the African man to his knees in the form of actually right back to slavery. My brother, I'm an individual who travels the length and breadth of this country and keep observing what is going on. A few days back, I was in the backlands on the East Coast. And in one case, I am satisfied that the roads to the farms are being done. But there was a particular area I visited. And there is a all-weather road being constructed, which is being said will be going straight to the Conservancy. And I was appalled when I was being made to understand by individuals that the great plan is that when those roads would have been completed, these boys have their special people to come and occupy all those backlands, which belongs to the African man. Those lands were bought and paid by the slaves. My heart is burning as I speak because something needs to be done. Something drastically needs to be done to let these fellas understand that they cannot continue taking the African man for a ride. And then there are a few misguided ones who will have a sweetie and believe that he has a bag of groceries. Something is wrong with our people. And those of us who are conscious of what is going on and what is being created for the future destruction of the African people, I think is that all the African conscious leaders in all the African villages, this is an opportune moment for us to stand up, rise up, and rally our people to defend what our ancestors has left us with. We cannot allow these boys to keep destroying us and our generations to come. The other thing I want to give a short bit about is that I am watching the Duns Club in New York. The question is, he must tell Guyana how much monies of Guyanese coffers he's spending to pay and buy that foolish publicity. It's all about joke. That is a big joke. Which part of the world you see a president visiting other countries and them whining and dining all about the place like a stray dog? The boy has no moral, no social decorum, you know. But let me not take up much of your time because there might be others who have valid information to share. But I am hoping that this that I'm saying here this morning reach the attention of all those who say they are African leaders, especially people like Nigel Hughes, who I have finally developed some respect for. You got your brother, David Hines, and I'm talking about these fellas and their team. You need to investigate these things that is going on at the backlands of all African villages, because the intention is to take away those lands from the African man. Have a blessed day. Be good and careful, my brother.
Thank you, caller.
Good morning, Kadaki and listeners. Trust you guys will have a blessed day. Imagine Guyanese were entertaining Ali in New York. And there was this issue of renaming or awarding him something at a hospital. So while Ali was being honored in America, Ali and his health minister cannot speak to the people of Guyana about the healthcare system. You have a hospital in New Amsterdam that was built about 8 or 10 years ago that is in dire need of reparations, but they go in and build another hospital. All the outreach hospitals as far as I know, or clinics as I know, need attention. And Ali does not have the autonomy to instruct the health minister to take care of business. But yet he going to New York to be honored, right? Now, from the beginning, when the first video I saw with people saying, oh, come out and support your president. He is your president. I thought to myself, who's president? Because Ali don't represent black people. And those people who are kissing up to Mr. Ali or Ali, right, need to wake up. And as far as I'm concerned, I will support all those persons who say that they will not be supporting her business. You know why? Because she stifled her conscience, and nobody can tell me that she doesn't know what's going on in Guyana. Nobody can tell me that at one instance or the other, she didn't have to send money to Guyana to assist somebody in Guyana who may be encountering difficulties. As a matter of fact, all of them who be imposing up there, unless they're introverted and keep to themselves, they would have sent money to assist some sort of circumstance in Guyana. So for me, I think it's hypocrisy to the max, talking about, oh, we want you to treat everybody as one. Well, hello, wake up. They didn't do that for 4 years. You think they're going to do that now? I listened to Miss Montague's live feed because she was upset. And she said that they arranged the visit after the handshake incident and all of that. And so she decided to go and meet him after. What she experienced was a hostile president. So I want to ask this morning, if them people in America think that they would be treated differently, ain't gonna happen. It's not going to happen. And sitting on the fence does not help this situation. As a matter of fact, it undermines the efforts of all those personal organizations that are highlighting what is happening in Guyana. That's what it's doing. You're either in or you're out. The last time I was in Guyana, I supported small black businesses. I was looking for a protest. I couldn't find none. As soon as I left, you had the meeting at Starbuck Market. The point I'm trying to make, you as a Guyanese, especially an African Guyanese, have to make up your mind what you want and how you're going to get it done. Rhonda said something, and I hope these people who they going around the place dancing and making themselves idiots, I hope that some of them listen to Kadaki's program. Rhonda said something very profound when she said all she bluffing. If people were to stick to their guns and boycott her business, some Indo-Guyanese, somebody that is Ali friend will go and buy she business out. Truth, Rhonda, truth, right? Bob Marley said, when you got to get some food, your brother got to be your enemy. That's the play, right? That's the script of the PPP. They always do that. Put black people against each other. Have a great morning.
Thank you for that voice note.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and viewers. A lot of people is just taking in just like that and dies. They're not even rushed to the hospital from the home before collapsing. However, fogging is taking place in a lot of villages because of the mosquitoes. I'm not saying that is the cause of death, but we can look to see if there is any poisonous, anything there in the thing that they're using to fog this area that we as people inhaling and it's killing us. We have to be careful. We have to be careful. You understand? Because people just there, just no sickness and just dying. It had people at Beirut. But they said, being sick, just taking your son die, who with vomiting and diarrhea and without, split second. In a couple of minutes, in a couple of hours, dead. So I don't know. I'm just saying it could be possible. Sometimes it is not. The chemical that is using to fog, we have to look into that.
Thank you for that voice note.
Mr. Kadaki and viewers, good morning. Well, this is the most idiot thing I've ever heard. This is beyond ignorance. How can you want to train other persons out of your country and leave your country behind, your country folks behind? This is beyond thinking. I have never heard about a thing like this or see anything like this.
This is a million voice notes. I don't know which one to play. I'm going to go with the last one.
Remember. Boycott is the word. Please, Black Guyanese, everybody, the song, redemption song. Morning, neighbor. I just want to get the Black Guyanese people should remember the song, redemption song. That the person dead and gone, but they left us to think about what we're doing to ourselves.
Karaki, good morning, blessings, man. I listened the interview with Mr. Nigel Hughes, who went to Kiana, Darren Waves and this other who went away to Geneva to represent apology. Mr. Nigel Hughes is a very intelligent attorney at law, and he's sensible. He knew the facts, what is really taking place in Guyana, and he went with his information. But saying all of that, Karaki, I listened to you this morning, and you was spot on that when the first individual called, and the guy was talking about the woman who
with the business place and thing with Mr. Ali and stuff like that and thing. But these things will happen because there is people who you can easily buy. You can easily buy them. But this struggle, I believe personally that we all will be rejoicing. These things will happen. There is all type of people in this world. But at the end of the day, good will always prevail. So you have a blessed day, my brother, and God bless.
It's now 30 minutes past the 9 o'clock. It is still the 22nd of April in the year 2024. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. You're still tuned to the Guyanese Morning Time. They say all good things come to an end. It's time for me to leave. And so I thank you all for participating in this morning's program. Join me tomorrow for yet another program of Guyanese Morning Time as we continue to discuss the issues that we are aware of. Okay? Tomorrow I'm going to tell you all something that the board whisper in my ears. But for now, have a good day. Stay safe. Continue to support CAMS TV. Continue to support Club Twilight. Continue to call us when you need chairs and tables and other party rentals and so on. Have a great day. Be safe. Out.